subscribing, and leaving comments.
I can still see him walking through there when I think about it. We looked right into each other's eyes.
Shot by a camera. Captured on video.
It just lifted me up and then flipped me through the air.
Bigfoot. Snared by cameramen.
And it was definitely moving around. I mean, it was definitely alive.
Reeled in on tape.
But I saw it with my own eyes.
Cousins of Nessie. Real-life monsters. Also, Strange America, Julie Strain, out on the town in San Francisco.
So come with me to the city by the bay, and I'll show you what's really strange.
And Doogie Howser, Starship Trooper. This is Strange Universe, the phenomenal daily news magazine. Now, Emmett Miller.
They're the most elusive and legendary creatures of our time. And we've got video. Sea serpents, lake monsters, an old Sasquatch himself, in a most unlikely place. Settle back for real-life close encounters of the strange kind, beginning with the Texas Bigfoot.
I can still see him walking through there, you know, when I think about it. I believe it was an intelligent creature, whatever it was.
At first look, it certainly resembles the legendary creature, though it's thousands of miles from its stomping ground in the great Northwest.
I never saw anything like it. I was just going for a walk in the woods, you know.
Then again, on second look, this video could be an obvious hoax, until you hear the story behind it, and you meet the man who still shakes when he tells of his encounter with a creature who looked an awful lot like Bigfoot.
It looked aggravated when it ran at me, you know. I was where I wasn't supposed to be, or he was where he wasn't supposed to be.
The story begins one afternoon 2 years ago in the piney woods of East Texas. Danny Sweeten had taken a day off from his gunsmith business to look at a piece of land he was thinking of buying. He'd borrowed a friend's video camera to get some pictures of the place to watch at home. But when he got to the property, he found himself looking at more than just trees.
Okay, he was right here on his elbow this way, laying on the ground with his feet, you know, cropped, just like he was laying there like he'd got up from a nap.
The thing, whatever it was bigger and scarier than anything Danny had seen outside a zoo. About 7 feet tall, covered in dark hair with gray eyes, staring straight at Danny Sweeten.
We looked right into each other's eyes.
Did you see an emotion in his face?
It was like I had woke him up.
Remember, Danny Sweeten was carrying that video camera he'd never used. He was also carrying a loaded gun. Danny went for the camera. At the same time, the creature went for him.
When I looked back up, he just gave me the elbow in the chest.
Danny Sweeten is 6'1" and nearly 300 pounds.
It just lifted me up like nothing and flipped me through the air.
Danny says he landed on his stomach. 2 of his teeth had been knocked loose. Somehow, he went for the camera again.
I was on my knees when I hit the button. And when I stood up, I just pointed it, like a rifle.
This is what he says the camera captured.
He had hit me so hard I couldn't have chased him, really. If I'd have caught him, what would I have done with him,
This is Danny Sweeten's friend. He didn't want his name or his face on camera, but he says he'll never forget the look on his pal's face when he came walking out of the piney woods that day.
He was really excited and wanted me to see what he had seen. And he said he didn't know what it was, but he said that it was looked like a large, hairy man or a creature of some kind.
Danny's friend looked at the video, but to this day doesn't know what to make of it.
As you can see in the videotape, it's pretty spooky.
Danny Sweeten says he never told anyone else about the incident or the tape until now.
And I would like for somebody else that had maybe got a video of it, maybe just a once-in-a-lifetime deal like me, maybe they'll come forward with it.
I think the more times I see it, the more I like it. And there's this certain jerkiness that you see in the stride that is pretty non-human.
We've seen Bigfoot tapes before. We've heard about the connection between Bigfoot sightings and UFO sightings and Men in Black. We took Danny's video to several experts to see if this strange Texas Bigfoot is anything more than just a man in a monkey suit. Loren Coleman is a cryptozoologist in Portland, Maine.
I'm getting more and more excited. There's something on the front of that body. The stride's really different than human. There seems to be a pointedness to the head. So I'm beginning to see all of those things. It's pretty incredible footage. There is the whole piece about the credibility of the witness, but just looking at this footage, it's interesting.
Peter Gutilla's tracked Bigfoot sightings across the country, but he wasn't too sure about this one.
Unfortunately, the way it's walking is not consistent with a Sasquatch walk because the hip bone rolls. It doesn't move in the same way as a human being would, and this has got all the earmarks of a human being. A human walk doesn't necessarily disqualify it, but it's interesting.
Peter Byrne is a Bigfoot expert from Oregon, where many sightings have been reported. He had no doubts about what we showed him.
And that looks like a man to me. Looks like a man in a fursuit. And of course we can't tell how good a suit it is because it's too far away. Too far away to see the zipper, I'm afraid.
As for Danny Sweeten, in the end he has at least some satisfaction that he reached for his camera instead of his gun.
I'm just glad that nobody met up with it with a deer rifle out here, I think there's better ways of finding out what it is than that. I'd just like to know what it is.
I don't know, he sure looked pretty scared to me. But if you didn't buy that, there's more. You've heard of the Loch Ness Monster? When we come back, we've got him beat.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.